Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Lara, a clinical pharmacist specializing in functional medicine, as well as a certified yoga teacher and Reiki master. I run a truly integrative health coaching practice encompassing functional medicine lab testing, yoga and meditation, and a sprinkling of Reiki energy medicine. Join me here on Light Body Radio to break through your health plateau and come into alignment with your natural vitality. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Light Body Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Lara May. And today I want to talk to you about the phrase, I don't know. And this came up recently in a coaching session that I was having with my coach. And so it was so enlightening and powerful for me that I wanted to bring it forward to you guys and get your brains thinking on this and bringing awareness to this. So when you say the phrase, I don't know, in the context of what's going on in your life or a dilemma or a solution to a dilemma that you're dealing with, what's really important to realize is that we are cutting off our own wisdom and our own inner knowing. And I want to be clear that this kind of I don't know is different than not knowing the answer to like a math problem or a scientific problem. That's different. That's more of a logical, like you literally don't know what you don't know. But when it comes to denying your own wisdom about what's going on in your own life and answers for your own life, then that's really, not wanting to look inside yourself and not wanting to be conscious and not wanting to know what you actually know. So that whole premise just sort of like made me pause in the middle of the coaching session and be like, wow, okay. So I want to give you a second to let that sit in, that when we say I don't know I don't know why I'm not writing the book. I don't know why I'm not exercising. I don't know why I'm not following up with my goals or my New Year's resolutions. I don't know why I haven't committed to eating healthy, even though I said I would this year. I don't know why I keep eating my emotions or overeating when I know that's not what's good for me. All of these things are the intrinsics not wanting to be conscious types of I don't know. And so there's different ways to think about this. So if you don't know something, then turn that around and ask, well, what do I know about it? So if we want to take this example of of eating healthy or overeating, or making a goal to stop overeating, or a goal to eat healthy in the new year. And if you're not doing it, then and your answer is, well, I don't know why. Then turn it around and look at it and ask, okay, well, what do you know about it? What do you know about what you're feeling when you are in the act of overeating or not eating healthy for yourself? What's going on in your brain when that is actually happening and unfolding, and you're making a choice to overeat or to not eat healthy? Because here's the thing about this phrase, I don't know. The phrase, I don't know, is just a thought that we're thinking. And since we know that the thoughts that we are thinking create our feelings and then create our actions, then we can choose, and we have complete 100% choice over our thoughts. Then we can choose another thought besides I don't know. So I challenge you to start paying attention to how often you're telling yourself, I don't know, or how often you're saying it out loud to other people when they ask questions or inquire about things about you or for you. And your answer is, I don't know. Because I think that lends itself to really um, shine light on how often we're choosing to be unconscious. And, I've been talking a lot about this whole concept of radical responsibility. And what that means is, taking 100% responsibility for every aspect of your life and your role in every relationship, especially if it's not going the way you want. How are you showing up? What role are you playing? How are you within the dynamic? And how can you change that if you don't like what it is? You have the power to change it. And so the same concept here with this unconsciousness of I don't know is, oh, okay. Oh, I said it again. Okay, well, what do I know about it? Why am I choosing to stay in the unconscious place? Because what feelings when we say I don't know, what feelings come up for you? I just want you to think about that. For me, those feelings can be overwhelm, confusion, just sort of like abstractness or like checking out. And it really is, it can be an excuse to, again, like not be fully involved in our own lives, not taking responsibility, and not taking a stand for whatever this phrase is relative to. So I want you to think about, what does it feel like when you do know? So when you know something beyond a shadow of a doubt, an absolute yes, what does that feel like for you? Where do you feel that in your body? Are there other feelings that come up with that, like confidence? Um, Obviously, knowing, like that's a feeling. We might not think of it as a feeling. Knowing is actually a feeling. So what other feelings come up when you know something for sure? And once you know what that feeling is, then if you think about it, it prepares you to make a decision. You have decided that that you believe, and that you know how to do something, or that you know about something. And the second thing is that the unknown is not so threatening. And so that's another piece of this. So our brains want to keep us far away from the unknown, because the unknown historically and evolutionarily has been dangerous. It's a variable that our brains can't prepare for. And the whole point of our evolutionary brain has been survival. And so the unknown is scary to the primitive brain. And so it's actually natural for us to go, if we're in the I don't know, which is the unknown, to retreat, to not act, to stay in that analysis paralysis. So, I want you to really be aware of that too. So when you're in the I don't know, you're like, okay, I'm in the unknown. That's okay. I'm still safe. Like tigers and lions aren't chasing and eating me. Like I don't live in a cave anymore with just a fire to survive by. I have resources, and I have this higher conscious brain now, this analytical brain that can, bring forth some answers. So again, thinking about like what you do know, and when you're in that state of knowing, then you are not in the unknown, and your life progresses, and you're not blocking yourself by saying, I don't know. So when we say, I don't know, we are actually allowing blockages to come up. We're allowing blockages to just be present, and or maybe persist when we don't want them to. Because I don't know about you, but I don't know about you. But for me lately, when this phrase, I don't know, has been coming up, it's because I need to make some decisions, and I don't know which choice to choose. And when When I do that, then what happens? Then I don't make a choice. I stay in analysis paralysis. Nothing changes in the life. I stay in the unknown, and the cycle continues. So that's sort of my model in this. Is my circumstances. I'm trying to decide about a couple factors in my life. My thought is I don't know. My feeling is then confusion, overwhelm. My actions are the inaction, the swirling, the staying in the unknown. And then the result is that I stay in this cycle and I don't move forward. There's no progress. So based on the model that I use in my coaching and the way I've been taught through the life coach school is you have that circumstance, the thought, the feeling, the action, and the result. So that's a quick rundown of what my model looks like when I'm working through this. So the progress is to evaluate why you're allowing yourself to stay in the unknown, why you're allowing yourself to use the phrase, I don't know, as an excuse. So, what's the reason? Do you have a reason? Because if we start telling ourselves the truth and being honest and taking that radical responsibility, then we can make deliberate decisions. So we can say, well, the reason I haven't written that book is because I'm nervous, or I'm afraid people will judge me in a way that's not comfortable. Or the reason that I haven't chosen to eat healthy for myself is because I just have this habit. And when I go to the store, this is what I buy. It's just easier for me to keep doing what I'm doing than to change my behavior. And so, as soon as you answer the question in a really honest way about why you're allowing yourself to be in the I don't know, then you can make progress. And all progress, all change starts with awareness and truth and honesty and that radical responsibility. And as soon as you give yourself the opportunity to hear yourself tell the truth and access your own wisdom, then that's when the magic begins. So there's also this habit that we've learned over the years of saying I don't know as a cop out, as an excuse. And I think a lot of it starts like when we're little, when we're in school, because it keeps us safe. It sort of sometimes takes a spotlight off of us. Like in school, if you say like I don't know the answer to something, um, you might get a little judgment or maybe sometimes scolded, but then the attention moves away from you. And so then you're given the luxury of not having to figure something out or, again, like move beyond this state of unknown and this state of discomfort. And so we get in the habit of when something comes up and we need to make a decision, or we are sort of at that crux point of making progress in our lives, we just default back to I don't know, because again, it's what our survival brain knows as safety, even though it's not serving us, it's not propelling us forward, it's not creating change in our life, it's not helping us create the life of our dreams and the life that we want. It's really just keeping us stuck. So I want to ask you these questions. What are you afraid to know about yourself? And why is that so fearful for you? You know, just think about that too. Maybe take some notes. No judgment here. Again, this is all about just awareness. And if you ask yourself a question and you believe that you know the answer, you will know the answer. If you believe in yourself and you believe that the wisdom and the answer is within you and you just have to be brave enough to make an honest choice, you'll be so surprised at what will come up and come forward and present itself as opportunities. Some people call this synchronicities, but really it's just you allowing your own wisdom and your own energy to come through and help co-create the life that you really want. So we have so much more wisdom in ourselves than we allow ourselves access to, because we're constantly indulging in confusion. Remember when I was talking about the different emotions that can possibly come up when you are thinking, I don't know. One of them is confusion. So if you're constantly indulging yourself in confusion, and what does indulging mean? Indulging means you're choosing it deliberately. So if we're choosing the thought, I don't know, then that means we're choosing procrastination. We're choosing confusion. We're choosing overwhelm. We're choosing to stay in the unknown with the phrase, I don't know. And so, again, like when I was going over this with my coach, I was just like, wow, okay, like this is such a new way to think about it. And it's, to me, it was so powerful and so such a big shift. And so now, like, I'm going to make it a point to myself to really notice, how often am I thinking I don't know? Or when I'm presented with an opportunity to make a decision, for a choice, something empowering in my life, how often am I defaulting to that procrastination, to that confusion, to that avoidance and that overwhelm? So, Oprah, I don't know if you guys ever listened to Oprah back in the day or even currently, but one of the things that she says a lot is, what I know for sure is dot, dot, dot. And so I want to ask you, what do you know for sure? And I want you to practice that feeling of knowing with beyond a shadow of a doubt. And just start maybe making a list of what do you know. And instead of focusing on what you think you don't know, let's focus on what you definitely do know. Because again, remember, this helps build that habit of being in the space of knowing. And so just like it was a habit that you created being in the space of I don't know, being in the space of knowing will also is a new habit. It's a new muscle that you have to build. And so I wish I had a person here to like sort of coach along and with an example. But this other piece, and we talked about this a little bit, is being willing to be in the unknown. Because there's infinite possibilities in the unknown. And it's okay. So it's natural, again, for us to be here. So I want you to notice when you're there and be okay with it. Be curious. Give yourself grace. Give yourself the space to create, to access that inner wisdom. And just, again, remember that this is how our brain works, that it's most efficient to keep us in the safe place. And so when we are ready and willing to explore the unknown, be ready for that discomfort, but be willing to keep moving forward. And so how do you know if you're willing to get out of the unknown world? How will you know that? What do you think it'll feel like when you're willing to step out of the unknown and into the known? What prevents you from going into the unknown? What keeps you in the place of knowingness? Lots of interesting questions here to ask and to think about. And these are all things that that I've researched more since the coaching call that this came up on for me. And it's just sort of opened a whole new box of questions and things to evaluate. So I just want to encourage you to not allow yourself to block your own progress with I don't know. And if you tell yourself the truth, then again, you can make deliberate decisions. And we've talked about this. So the reason why I haven't ... is because ... So you can use this phrase to fill in your blanks. So the reason why I didn't run that marathon is because I, can't seem to figure out how to get myself out of bed in the morning to go running, or I can't figure out how to make the time for the training program. Or the reason that I haven't started writing the book is because I haven't written an outline yet, and I haven't figured out all of the pieces and all the chapters. The reason that I haven't been eating healthy for myself, again, is because when I go to the store, I just buy the same old thing, and I don't make a list of all the healthy things I want to buy. So again, the reason I haven't blah, blah, blah is because blah, blah, blah. So I want you to try that sentence and fill it out a couple times when you have a situation of I don't know. And just remember that when we're investigating these things, then we're automatically coming up with answers, and that is bringing us into the space of the known. And so I want to finish up this short little segment with, again, the question of what are you afraid to know? Why do you keep saying, I don't know? And when you ask yourself a question and you believe that you know the answer, you will know the answer. Remember that. You will access so much more wisdom and open up so many doors that you didn't know were there, and you didn't probably even know that were closed. So another good little point here is to just try a bunch of things, and not everything will work, but if you don't try different things, then you won't find out what will work. So again, besides asking yourself, well, what do I do know about this? Maybe also ask yourself, well, what can I try to do around this subject that will maybe show me what works and show me what doesn't work? And that statement of here's what I know for sure. And maybe just allow yourself that space to say, I'm learning. I'm in the process. I'm giving myself the space to learn, giving myself the grace. So I would love to hear from you all how the phrase I don't know comes up in your life, how you handle it. What do you feel? What do you do? What's the result when I don't know is happening for you? And then I want to know, since this episode, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to allow it to perpetuate? Are you going to start going from the unknown into the known? And are you going to start making deliberate decisions for yourself and deliberate choices, and knowing that you can choose your thoughts, and therefore you get to choose how you feel, what you do, and the results in your life? So if you are looking for more coaching and more help in various areas of your life, whether it's health and wellness or relationships, then I have a coaching special for you. It's over in my store. So just go over to drlaramay.com/store, and you'll find the life coaching special that I have set up for you. It's super valuable, super powerful. It's 8 sessions for a great low price. And I would love to be able to help each and every one of you out with some powerful life coaching. And it's a great place, especially if you've never worked with a coach, to start, because it's at a super affordable and great entry level price point. So thank you all. I hope you all are having an amazing new year. And if you're struggling with, keeping on track with your goals and resolutions, then definitely check out this special. And I hope to hear some feedback and hear about some of your stories. And because that's what makes this show great, is all of your interaction and feedback. So thank you all, and I'll check you out in the next episode. Bye.